I just want to thank everybody for being so kind, so nice, for your comments, and thank you all for coming to the unveiling.
Thank you. It's our schut to be by such a tzaddik.
Where is she?
Here.
Hi, Sheila. It's Alan. Hi.
Hi, Alan. Miss seeing you.
Missing you.
Sheila,
Yes, Ruthie.
when are you going to come to Israel so we can see each other?
We'll see when we can start traveling, Ruthie.
That's true. That's true. Stay well. Did you get a shot?
I'm sorry?
Did you get a shot yet?
No, we can't get it yet. I can't get it yet.
Why?
Sheila,
No, because it just started here in Montreal, so
You're
they're giving
too
it
young.
priority.
You're too young to get it. That's why they don't give it to you.
Right. No, but it's going by priority. They have a list.
Okay. Love you. Take care.
Love you, Ruthie. You too.
I still remember the last time I went to the wedding of Shanna, and I was so happy because you and Isaac were there, and Isaac came over to me, as he always did whenever I saw him, to speak and to reminisce. It was so nice to see you both. You remember?
Yeah, we like to go to celebrate Smachot.
Right, right, and he did. Oh, had him.
Goodbye, Auntie Sheila and cousins.
Bye.
Bye. Good morning.
Bye. You should hear Besorot Tovot. Good Shabbos. Be well.
Shabbos, Malka.
Be well,
Thank you.
everybody.
Be well.
Shabbat shalom.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
רוח טוב בשר איש, עינה לרצון לפניך, תלמוד תורתנו תפילתנו, בעבור נשמת רבי יצחק בן רבי ישראל משה, וגמלנה עליה בחסדך הגדול לפתוח לה שערי רחמים וחסד ושערי גן עדן, בעלותה באהבה וחיבה ושלח לך מלאכיך הקדושים, והוליכה לו שיבה תחת עץ החיים, עץ ולשמות הצדיקים והצדקניות, החסידים והחסידות, ועדות ניסים שכינתך ולהתענג מטובך, צפון הצדיקים והצביעה, סוף השמחות את פניך, והגוף ינוח בקבר במנוחה נכונה, והשקט בביתך ובשלום, וישן שנתו בנחת ולא יעצב ולא יבהל ולא יורגז ממי ישכבו, כמו שכתוב יבוא שלום ינוחו על משכבותם, הולך נכוחות, וכתוב יעזו חסידים בכבוד, ירננו על משכבותם, וכתוב אם תשכב לא תפחד, ושכבת בארבע שנתך, אנא תפרח ותמחול לו, על כל שם כי אדם אין צדיק בארץ, אשר יעשה טוב ולא יחטא, וזכור לו זכויותיו וצדקותיו אשר עשה, תשביע לו מנשמתו לדשן עצמותיו בקבר רב טוב הצפון הצדיקים, וכתוב מה רב טובך אשר צפנת ליראייך, וכתוב שומר כל עצמותיו ואחת מהן לא נשברה, וישכון בטח בדד ושאנן מפחד רב, לא יראה פני גיהנום ונשמתו תהי צרורה בצרור החיים לאחדותו, תחיית המתים עם כל Israel. Amen.
Everybody can say Kaddish together. What?
One person will say, no?
Oh, Shalom Kaddish. Okay, go ahead. Gadal be Kadash Ve'Rabah. Walmadi Grok Yutei V'Yamim Pachotei Chazim Chaniv Korush Yutei Chai Chodim Le'Yachon of Chai Obeit Yisrael Magol of Yizman Korush Yutei Yesh Ve'Rabah Ora Om Yom Maya Rak Shabbat Kipar Yitroma Adar V'Talem Talamos Reini V'Shat Leila Mikol V'Katav Shirata That Latat Mama
אל מלא רחמים שוכן במרומים אמצא מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים את נשמת רבי יצחק בן רבי ישראל משה צלח לעולמו בעבור שכל הקהל מתפללים בעד אזכרת נשמתו לכן בעל הרחמים יסתירהו בסתר כנפיו לעולמים ויצרו החיים את נשמתו אדוני הוא נחלתו בגן עדן תהא מנוחתו וינוח בשלום על משכבו ונאמר אמן.
Or Chuck, say read for Cheryl. Send him. This is from words from Cheryl, Tammy, and Lisa. We cannot believe it's been a year in the Jewish calendar since our father died. 2020 has been crazy, intense, horrible, but of course there were some wonderful experiences as well. We are so sorry we are not able to be in Israel for the unveiling of our dear father. Although we may be biased, he really was one of the best people we ever knew. He made a huge impact on our lives. We are the people who we are today because of our father and mother. When we were drafting the inscription of our dad's matzeva, we tried to think of his most cherished qualities to create an acrostic. Our father occasionally wrote acrostic poems for our mother on special occasions, spelling out Sheila Fried with beautiful, thoughtful words about her. What a romantic he could be. They were the love of each other's lives and always enjoyed being together, spending time with each other. They loved traveling to exotic destinations all over the world, going to the theater, listening to lectures, exercising at the Y, going out to dinner with friends or family, and watching movies together. After our father broke his hip in May 2017, he spoke to us about looking after our mother after he was gone, always wanting to take care of her. We believe the qualities we choose for our acrostic highlight the essence of our father. I, for intelligent. He was very smart and knew information about many topics. He, of course, knew science, but he also, a history buff, knew a lot about politics and was an avid reader. S, for strong-willed. He was a very determined man. He knew what he wanted and went after it. His wish was to make it to Mitchell's bar mitzvah last November in Maryland, and he succeeded. He was in the hospital right before and right after the bar mitzvah, but for the bar mitzvah weekend, he was there and celebrated with us all, giving a memorable speech and blessing the bar mitzvah boy. It was his sheer will and determination that he lived past his freak accident, his ailments, and many hospital days to celebrate at Mitchell's bar mitzvah. E for gentleman. He was a gentle, sweet man, quiet, but had a powerful presence. A for admired and loved by all. All our lives, we always heard from people who knew our dad and share stories of how special he was. Everyone was impressed by him and loved him. C for caring and compassionate. Not only did he care for his patients and spend time talking to them to get their whole story, but he cared for everyone he met and thought the best of people. His waiting room overflowed with patients he would squeeze in, and occasionally he would see family at our house or make house calls. He tried to ensure his patients received the best medical care. He also anonymously supplemented patients' medicine supply if they could not afford it. F for friends with everyone. He generally liked everyone and was happy to talk to anyone and everyone. He was friendly and enjoyed discussing issues, family, news, movies, medicine, or just partaking in small talk with anyone. He liked to kibitz with people young and old. R for respected. He was a respected doctor, an active member of the Bethel Jewish community, and a well-known member of the Montreal Jewish community, in addition to being respected for being an overall good guy. I for intellectually curious. He had so many different interests and curiosities and knew so much about so many different topics. If you brought up any topic, our dad would have an interesting idea to share. He would pick up and read any newspaper or magazine. E for exceptional doctor. He loved being a doctor and taking care of his patients. He was an excellent diagnostician and knew how to help his patients feel better. When Tammy got sick this past May, she said one of the hardest parts was how she wished she had been around to consult and advise the doctors. We wish we could also talk to him about COVID and hear his thoughts, as well as discussing all our other ailments and medical issues this past year. E for devoted to family, Judaism, and medicine. These are the three pillars of our father's life and what he built around and what he built his life around. Now just something from between the time our father broke his ribs in May 2019, then passed away in January, and now we conclude the year of mourning. It has been a whirlwind. So much has happened. On August 1st, 2019, we celebrated his 89th birthday with a joyous birthday party with friends and family. He had many hospital admissions since that May, but each time he remained feisty and determined to be discharged. He was discharged Air Force One and still went to shul both days, walking up and down the stairs outside. After that hospital visit, the hospital medical team insisted he need an electric stair lift in order to be discharged. We now have an electric stair lift in our house that he never used. Our father was such a wonderful man. We believe Hashem gave him this gift of attending the bar mitzvah and gave him what he wanted at the end of his life. He had a funeral burial in Israel, Shiva with many people, and Shloshim, all without having to deal with COVID. Unfortunately, he did not get the chance to meet his grandson, born almost exactly 1 year after he broke his ribs. But he was zoche to have his grandson named after him. On behalf of our mother and the three of us, we love him and miss him so much. Now there's another small letter from Sheila that I'm going to read as well. Sheila's thoughts on Isaac. I learned a lot from Isaac, especially from how he behaved. Isaac led by
example, not by preaching. He showed me how to always behave appropriately, and in our marriage, he was always very supportive. Isaac taught me many things. He respected everyone, and everyone was considered an equal. This was clearly seen in his office, which was always very crowded. All his patients were treated equally. When I was in his office, I saw that no matter who was there, everyone had to wait their turn. Isaac was an excellent diagnostician. He always had many consultations of people wanting his medical expertise. His patients always looked up to him. Isaac was a very warm person and liked talking to everyone, whether the person was a relative, friend, doctor, patient, or any person he met. He was very kind to everyone. He really was a special person, and I miss him so much.
His oldest cousin.
I remember Isaac from more than 60 years ago when we learned to get in the Lubavitcher Yeshiva. Oh. I've been hearing from what you've read, which is written on the gravestone. Unfortunately, one of the most important things is missing from what you said. Every doctor has a specialty. One is a specialty in gynecology, another one's a specialist in pediatrics and so on. Isaac was a specialist in kindness. There was nothing that Isaac did that was not kind to himself, to everyone around him. His kindness overflowed. He never let anybody who was ever in his office go unattended or not receive the care that they had to. This was Isaac. May his soul be tied up among the soil of with the soil of the living. Isaac, we're gonna all miss you. Rest in peace.
I'll just explain the Hebrew words on the tombstone. First of all, Rofei Ne'eman v'Rachaman. It says in the Gemara in Sotah that the pasuk in Dvarim, which says "Alech b'derech Hashem," a person has to walk after God. So the Gemara asks, how could a person walk after God? God is totally spiritual. Gemara answers that just like God is merciful, so we have to be merciful. Just like God visits sick, so we have to visit sick. The 8th bracha in Shmoneh Esrei says when we ask for wellness, we ask for refuah, it says, Ki el melech rofei ne'eman v'rachaman. God is trustworthy and merciful as a doctor. He's a doctor who's trustworthy and merciful. Isaac went in the way of God definitely in this way. He was trustworthy and merciful. I know stories of people who wanted to see only Isaac. Someone had to go to an operation. He was only willing if Isaac was there. If Isaac wasn't there, he wasn't willing to go into this operation that he needed. He was trustworthy and he was merciful. He acted as a doctor, and he was an expert doctor. Besides expert in kindness, which foremost, he was also an expert in ear, nose, and throat. His ear, nose, and throat specialty, where he was a surgeon and an expert consultant, ear, nose, and throat. He was trustworthy, and when he was with people, as was mentioned, was always out of kindness and mercy. was Yashar Derech. He was straight. It says in the Gemara in the Mishnah Pirkei Avot. What's the straight way to go? What's straight in the eyes of God and in the eyes of people. So was Uncle Isaac. Tzedakah Sakirofet, Tzaddik Sakirofet. His work as a doctor, as was mentioned before, with righteousness. It's two things. It's also righteousness, but he did medicine out of righteousness, not as a profession. Besides that, he also actually did tzedakah with the medicine, as the daughters mentioned before, that he had given money for medicine, he had paid for medicine. And I know also stories that I heard that before Medicare came in, he took people in without being paid. The yeshiva Bavich, he'd take him in and he without charging them. This we see in the later years. He always tried to come to shul. He always tried to learn. But in the later years, we saw how much it was so that he wasn't bound by the times that he has to be in work from early morning to late at night. He was every morning in Shachris in the shul, and he went to Daf Yomi. And this, we see what he was yearning for. He was yearning for Torah and Tefillah. And Kolo Aref Keshaliach Tzibur. He had a very, very nice voice, and he used it. And when did we see this? In davening. He was always willing to lead the tefillah whenever he was asked, and he had pleasure in it. And the tzibur in Bethora had pleasure in hearing him daven. I remember the time that when they didn't have also a chazan sheni, so he was almost every week. He was started as the chazan in the shul on Shabbat. One of the reasons to have a tombstone is to remember the midot of the person. Remember the person, and that his midot should not be forgotten. So, Be'ezrat Hashem, we will learn from Uncle Isaac, from his midot, how we ourselves should behave. Amen. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Can I say a few words?
Oh, she wants to say, yes.
I just want to say that
we hear you.
Okay, that Isaac was a very special person. He taught by example. He always had varied interests. He loved his family, and we all loved him. And he was always, as was mentioned, eager to learn.
Thank you.
רבי חנינא בן הקשיא אומר רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות ישראל, לפיכך בא להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר, אדוני יחפץ למען צדקו, יגדיל תורה ויאדיר.
Amen.
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 Amen. Yesh
me Rabbi Borach u'nei Yisparech. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
I just want to thank everybody for being so kind, so nice, for your comments, and thank you all for coming to the unveiling.
Thank you.
It's our
schut to be by such a tzaddik.
Where is she?
Here.
Hi, Sheila. It's Alan. Hi.
Hi, Alan. Miss
Hi.
seeing you.
Missing you.
Sheila,
Yes, Ruthie.
when are you going to come to Israel so we can see each other?
We'll see when we can start traveling, Ruthie.
That's true. That's true. Stay well. Did you
Thank
get a
you,
shot?
you too. I'm
Did you-
sorry?
Did you get a shot yet?
No, we can't get it yet. I can't get it yet.
Why?
Sheila,
No,
Sheila,
because
this,
it's just came started here in Montreal, so
You're
they're giving
too
it
young.
priority.
You're too young to get it. That's why they don't give it to you.
Right, no, but
Okay.
it's going by priority. They have a
Uh-huh.
list.
Okay. Love you. Take care.
Love you, Ruthie, you too.
I still remember the last time I went to the wedding of Shanna. And I was so happy because you and Isaac were there, and Isaac came over to me, as he always did whenever I saw him, to speak and to reminisce. It was so nice to see you both. You remember?
Yeah, we like
Shanna's-
to go to celebrate Smachot.
Right, right. And he did. Oh, I had him.
Goodbye, Auntie Sheila and cousins.
Bye,
Bye.
Howdy.
Bye. Good morning.
Thank you for
bye.
being
You
in.
should hear
Bye.
Besorot Tovot. Good
Yeah.
Shabbos. Be
Good
well.
Shabbos, Malka.
Be well,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye.
Shabbos, Tammy.
Okay,
Shabbat
bye.
Shalom.
Bye,
Okay,
Shalom.
bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
And you
Enjoy
and
the
Howdy.
night.